Hey and welcome. This is day 7 of my journey of learning Protoss. So this time I wanted to talk about concentrating on the game and early game aggression. So the replay I'm showing here is a game I played yesterday evening, I think, and I didn't really concentrate on the game, which led to a lot of stupid and easily avoidable mistakes. Mostly on the micro part, as I'm currently focusing on early game harassment, which I'm training by just doing whatever comes to mind with being aggressive in the early game with as little unit as possible. So I'm going for adept aggression in this game and as well as an oracle, and both are microed really poorly. That's a problem I got in a lot of games where I don't focus on the game enough, I would say. Where just my micro and macro slips. I don't know, it's more of a being lazy, I think. When my brain just don't want to do the things that's necessary in the game to win. And so there are not just micro mistakes where I don't micro a unit back, even though I have nothing else to do. It's even the macro part as well, where, I don't know, going back to bases and building units and buildings and upgrades and stuff feels really slow and sluggish. It's just one of these days where things don't come together and don't work really well. Like even losing the scouting probe to an SCV, not even a combat unit, losing it to an SCV. So this is pretty much purely a mistake on my side of being too slow in this game and being too lazy to micro properly. So, but even from those games you can learn something, as it shows you where the potential of micro lies and what you can do, as your normal micro potential is on one of these days, at least that's in my experience, is further slowed down, and so the mistakes are more visible. So it's easier to identify these mistakes because they are more severe, I would say. And this gives you the opportunity to take those replays and look at them and see your mistakes more easily and amplified. Where I see a lot of people just say, I know that I played terrible, I don't have to look at the replays. But I think especially then you have to look at the replays when you know that you played terrible, because this is the way to show you your mistakes in the most brutal manner. This here is a pretty good example of what I mean. As I'm having this adept in my opponent's natural base and taking free damage from SCVs, which never should happen, especially not when we are actually looking at the adept. So it would be obviously okay to take damage on it when you're doing something else, but I specifically have nothing else to do except then looking at this adept and not microing. So this is a mistake that shouldn't happen ever, as it is an enormous waste of time, and time is a valuable resource in StarCraft. So either you micro properly or you macro properly. In the best case, obviously you do both at the same time, but this is pretty hard and not everybody can do it. But when we take a look at the worker count, all in all it still was an effective attack. I'm not 100% sure yet on how the economy scales against Terran, so I can't really say how far ahead I am right now at this point in this game. But at least I got my infrastructure going, and the muscle memory kept my probe production going. Also the first attack with the oracle is pretty successful. I managed to kill a lot of workers and don't lose the oracle, which is especially useful, as the Terran has to be afraid of the Oracle coming back, which hindered him from moving out with a small amount of units. From here on out it's catching up in macro, so building buildings. As every good Protoss knows, if you got spare minerals, just throw down some gateways. So I do that and get a Robo Bay. Also 2 Phoenix, I don't know why I got those in the first place, but I rallied those across into the enemy base, which is another mistake, but it's okay, I got it. The panic all army hotkey saves the day. After finally hotkeying half of my army, it's about time to think about the plan of this game, which I didn't really have one, as it just ended there with do a bit of early game aggression and then. So thankfully I got another good attack with my Oracle going, which definitely put me economically ahead. And from there on out I just thought that I saw a tank, so I got a Void Ray, and the plan was to get some Immortals going then. And then just win off of the back of my economic advantage. So a third base was needed and some more probes, as well as additional production. And I thought a little bit about the unit composition. So as I saw some Marines and the, what's it called, Cyclone, those are pretty rare nowadays. So I thought he might go for a bio-mech style, something in between. So I would definitely either need some splash damage or a lot of adepts to counter the Marines. Now, right when I thought this game is going well, I obviously miss micro again. The 2 useless Phoenixes are... I don't know what they are doing. I didn't find the hotkey, I think, for the graviton beam. And then shortly after I just sacrificed my Oracle, which could be useful in later stages. I just sacrificed it into Marines for no additional damage. But at this point I'm so far ahead in economy that even those mistakes are not that severe anymore, as I really can just mess up units and go over and kill the Terran, I think. As long as I micro my army somewhat properly and don't lose units unnecessarily to tanks without at least trading them away. So the first thing I do is scout out his position with an observer and find out that he has a third base, which from then could bring him back into the game, as he has a lot of mutes there, which should skyrocket his economy. And I don't know how much production he has actually. So I decide to go around and destroy the destructible rocks and attack the third base from behind. And this works out surprisingly well, as he reacts really slow and I just can kill the third base off without losing any units. So this brings me to a pretty much unlosable position, I think, with him not having a third base and I my third base established, as well as a standing army, which is okay against his unit composition. So I decide I just wait for additional warp ins and then just go and kill him. So for now I just retreat a little bit and wait for additional adepts, as he had more marines as expected. And as well, my position at the third base isn't ideal to attack, as I have an army that is better spread out in a concave. So I want my adepts in the front to take the damage, tank the damage, and deal the damage to his front line of marines. Also, they are pretty good at soaking up tank shots, as they are not armored units and so they don't take the bonus damage from the tank. The only thing I don't have right now is an War Prism, but I'm building one right now, I think, which is coming in later into the fight to reinforce it directly at the front, and then from there on out I can just walk up the ramp and break his front line, even blink up to the high ground and secure the kill. So from there on out the game is just won. Yeah, that's about it for this video. So quick summary, the thing you can take away from this video is that you can always learn something from even the worst games you play, or especially from those. And that's about it. Thanks for watching and maybe see you in the next video.